Shalom, shalom, it's the brother Kadash. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakodash. This is going to be called the Israelite Family. You know, I seen this picture of the statue. They call it the biggest statue in Africa, right? And it made me think of the Israelite family, and that's what gave me the title pretty much of this lesson. It's the Israelite family. Very powerful statue, very, very powerful statue because, when you read the Bible, the Lord does promote the Israelite family. I know a lot of things going on today where it's best for men to stay away from women and dedicate themselves to following the Lord. But at the same time, the Lord does promote the Israelite family, and that's what the kingdom is going to be about, because it's not just going to be, not only our Lord going to be with us, but we're going to have our sons. That's a big part of the kingdom as our children, being fruitful when the Lord said he's going to multiply us, because that's how the 2/3 of Israel is going to come back. So that's going to be a major, major part of the kingdom. And we're going to have our wives, and our wives are going to be in order. Our wives are going to be righteous, virtuous women. So we're going to have all that, and that's what our paradise is going to be. We can have what Adam and Eve originally had, what they were supposed to have. And we can have that in our children, and not a worry in the world, and be in rulership. Our men set up as kings and priests. That's what the kingdom's going to be about, So I'm going to start at this precept, make this pretty clean, and get straight to it. This is in the book of Deuteronomy. Get to it. 32, I'm going to start at verse 7, right? It says, "Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee." See, that's what it's about. It's about the father. It's not just the woman, the man, and the children, but it's about your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather. See, that's something that a lot of us been cut off from. You really don't hear about your father's side, your grandfather, your great-grandfather's side. You really just hear about your mama's side, because that's what's pushed today in this society. It's your mother's and your mother's side and stuff like that. How many of us even know the name of our great-great-grandfather? Not your grandfather, not your great-grandfather, but your great-great-grandfather. And then if you understand the whole reincarnation thing, that could be you, reincarnated. So it's interesting. I remember asking my father, I was like, man, who is my, not, I was like, not your father, not your father's father, his father. You know what I mean? I barely got any information on it. That's the point, right? Verse 8 says, "When the Most High divided to the nations their heritage, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel." But the point is, you go to your forefathers to ask them to get that knowledge, of what happened during this time, and they'll break it down. A lot of times you sit down with grandpa be the smoothest person that you may know. And he'll break it down to you. Now, they come off a little mean, that's how the elders come off too. But you understand that that's just because grandpa don't take no shit. So the Israelite family is very important, and you kind of see it because what was the main thing that Esau attacked? The main thing that Esau attacked was, was the family. He divided the family, and he set our woman over us. This goes all the way back to slavery. And then with our woman being set over us, our women were able to control the children, and of course control the man by hanging the children over them. And then you see it today, even in society today. What is Esau doing? He's setting the woman over the man with child support and shit like that, and housing and everything, but the man can't be there, right? So he's dividing and conquer the family, the power structure. And then he tell you, hey, you only can have one wife, but it's very powerful when you got multiple wives. It benefits you a lot, and it brings together a lot of families and interconnect these families. This is 1 Timothy 5, starting at verse 8, straight to the point. It says, "But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel." So Bring that one up because that's New Testament to show you that the Lord does push that you're supposed to be a family man. You're supposed to take care of your family. There's nothing lower than a man that ain't providing for his family or taking care of his family, but at the same time, who is my mother and who is my father? Those that do the well, who is my brother and who is my mother? Those that do the will of my father. So the father, the Lord, he comes first, even over your family. But you're supposed to provide for your family. The Lord pushes that for you to provide and love and take care of your family. You're supposed to. So I just feel like this is very edifying for new brothers coming in trying to figure out what's going on. So you could be edified of to know that it's okay, because a lot of times when you come in the truth, it's look, leave your family behind, your family wicked, woo out the bam, this and that. And that may be true for like your mother and stuff like that, your father and stuff like that, but you still have a law, statute, command. You still have to honor your mother and your father. You might put some distance between there, but you ain't gonna hate them. And then, especially with your immediate family, your wife and your children, you supposed to take care of them regardless. That's your duty. Two sins don't make a right. That's the old saying that they used to always say when we was coming up. Two sins don't make a right. So if a person sin, that don't give you the right to go and sin against them. You see that a lot in the truth with brothers. Just because they call somebody else on a sin, that they feel like they could act or treat that person any way, which causes them to sin. So they really know better, right? So you're supposed to take care of your family. This is Proverbs 22, verse 6, right? It says, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. You're supposed to teach your child, not just let them be whatever they want to be, which that's what they push in the world today. You see that with the whole Dwayne Wade thing and his son. He just, well, my son feels like this. No, you're supposed to train up your child. And then it says he will not depart from it when he gets older. Verse 8, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is the servant to the lender. He that soweth iniquity should reap vanity, and the rod of his anger shall fail. That's just going into something else, right? I got another precept back in the New Testament, very important, right? Just showing that, the Lord does promote family. 1 Corinthians should be chapter 12, right? Yeah, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. It says, now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. Ye know that ye were Gentiles carried away into these dumb idols, even as ye were led. Here, nope, I'm sorry. Not that one. 1 Corinthians 11, the chapter before, I'm sorry. Verse 1 says, be ye followers of me, even as I am of Mashiach. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things and keep the ordinance as I delivered them to you. It says, but I will have you know that the head of every man is Mashiach, and the head of the woman is man, and the head of Mashiach is Yahweh, right? So the head of Yahweh is Yahweh, right? So that's being pushed. Even Apostle Paul is pushing that, for the family to actually have order. So it's not that family is bad, it's just that we don't have order today, but that's what we supposed to push, right? Verse 5, but every woman that prophesy or that prayeth or prophesy with her head uncovered dishonor her head, for that is even all one as if she were shaven. It says, for if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and the glory of God, but the woman is the glory of the man, right? It says, so the woman is our glory, and we are the glory of the Lord. It says, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman is of the man. She came from us. It says, neither was the man created for the woman. We wasn't even created for them. It says, but the woman for the man. It says, for this cause ought not the woman to have power over her head because of the angels. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of God. And judge in yourselves, it is commonly that a woman prayeth unto God uncovered? Question mark, right? Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame to him. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering, right? So this is pretty much breaking it down, just the order of the family, and it's right here in the Bible showing you what that it is important. You know, I give you one last one. I'll jump back to Proverbs. It's very, very important. And then even with the man, right? This is what Proverbs is going to talk about. The counsel, right? Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1. It says the proverb of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. You know, Solomon had the most wisdom and knowledge, right? So to know wisdom and instruction, and to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instructions of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, quality, yeah, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. So it's just like with the whole son thing, right? Verse 5, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain into wise counsel. And who was that wise counsel? It told you that in Deuteronomy, you know, your fathers, you know, inquire of them, your fathers, your forefathers. Verse 6, it says, to understand a proverb and the interpretation, the word of the wise, and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but the fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. So you still, you know, because even if they're not in the truth, they may have knowledge and stuff like that. You know, you got to know, you got to have spiritual discernment, of course, like that, because your loyalty to the Father, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai comes first. You know what I mean? But the family is still very, very, very important. You know, I mean, what you see today, you know, you have elders and stuff out there, but a lot of them, if they in different groups and stuff, they don't give a fuck about the people on the outside. You know, so really, what I had to find out and being in the truth is you still got to keep connection with your father, because your actual father, your bloodline, those are the motherfuckers that really give a fuck about you. Now, they may not be in the truth, but guess what? They get a life for you. Guess what? Wherever there's darkness, there's some light. So there's some light, there's some knowledge that they could give you, but you got to have that spiritual discernment, and you always got to put Yahweh and Yahweh Shai first over all that, right? But a lot of, you know, you get on the internet, you hear people making videos that you may watch their videos and look up to them and stuff like that in a way because you came into the truth watching their videos. But you got to understand, they strangers to you. If you ain't ever met them, had no dealings with them, even though you done watched 1,000 of their videos, they're still strangers to you. And guess what? They probably don't give no fuck about you. You see? So you always still got to remember, you know, millions of Israelites are going to be saved, you know, and you want a seat, and your family could get a seat too. You know, the scriptures talk about a man and his household can be saved for him doing the work. So the family, the black family, the so-called black family, but the Israelite family is very important, and hopefully I have edified you on that. With that, I'm going to say salvation to the elect. Shalom.